Welcome to Top Dynamics. On this channel, we explore the hidden forces that built today's world, the behind-the-scenes wars of global brands, impossible success stories, and the true history of discoveries that shaped human civilization. Today, you're going to feel the pulse of a giant that lives in the technology at your fingertips and the software on your desk. Microsoft. This is the story of how a garage project transformed into a trillion-dollar empire. The year is 1975. A young man with messy hair and an intellect moving at the speed of light walks the halls of Harvard, Bill Gates. One day he spots an ad in a magazine, the Altair 8800, the world's first personal computer kit. In that moment, a spark ignites in Gates' mind. If this machine isn't given a soul, a software, it will remain nothing but a metal box. But how did Bill Gates prepare the software to breathe life into that box? The secret lay in selling something that didn't even exist yet. Gates was about to tell the first big lie of his life. A lie that would either make him a genius or send him to ruin. Get ready, we're pulling back the curtain on history's greatest gamble. Gates' decision to drop out of Harvard wasn't just about leaving school. It was a defiance against the established order and his father's dreams of a legal career. At the time, computers were monsters that filled entire rooms. No one believed that one day there would be a computer in every home. But Gates and his partner Paul Allen saw a dynamic no one else could. Hardware is temporary, but software is immortal. So, how did two young men with no money tame one of the world's most complex machines? Our story continues in a dusty motel room, with an 8-week sleepless marathon. At the end of this marathon, there would either be a revolution or their dreams would be buried in that motel room floor. Gates and his childhood friend Paul Allen called MITS, the maker of the Altair, and told them they had a working basic software for the machine. The truth? They didn't have a single line of code. When the MITS manager said, "Come see us in 8 weeks," the clock started ticking. Here is the question we must ask. How do you write software for a computer you don't even own? It was like a painter trying to paint without a canvas. The answer lay in Paul Allen's brilliance. Allen simulated a PDP-10 computer to act like an Altair. For 8 weeks, the two lived on pizza and coffee, working without sleep. Time was so tight that Bill Gates would sometimes fall asleep at the keyboard, and when he woke up, he would continue coding from the very line he left off. His friends from that time say Bill didn't shower for weeks. He only thought in code. When they boarded the plane to Albuquerque, they still didn't know if the code would work. On the flight, Paul Allen realized one final mistake. He had forgotten the loading instructions. Right there in the air, he wrote the codes manually on paper. One line of error could have ended everything. When they entered the MITS office, they faced giant machines and skeptical engineers. They inserted the punched paper tape into the machine. There was deathly silence in the room. The lights began to flash. And then, the screen lit up. Ready. That one word changed the course of history. The manager couldn't believe his eyes. Microsoft's first sale was made. But this was just the beginning. Gates had a much darker and grander plan. He didn't just want to make software. He wanted to hold the passport to every computer in the world. So, how did this small company checkmate the world's largest tech giant, IBM, at its own game? This is where the most brilliant cheat in modern business history begins. By 1980, the undisputed king of the tech world was IBM. They were called Big Blue. If they entered an office, it meant that office now belonged to IBM. But IBM had a problem. They were late to the personal computer market and didn't have time to write their own operating system. The person they turned to was a 20-something Bill Gates. IBM executives thought this kid would provide some simple help and then be pushed aside. But Gates' stance at the table was not that of a child. He was a strategic mastermind. IBM wanted an operating system. But here is the detail that will shock you. Microsoft didn't have an operating system at that moment. Gates managed to stall IBM and immediately bought a system called QDOS from a small nearby software house for only $50,000. He renamed it MS-DOS. Now hold on tight. We're at the moment that changed the direction of history. Gates offered to license the system to IBM instead of selling it. In the business world of that day, this was unheard of. IBM executives were laughing internally. Who cares about software? The real money is in the hardware, they said. At the time, the metal casing and the giant processors were everything. Software was just a byproduct. But Gates saw the future. When IBM made this mistake, they actually gave Microsoft the shovel to dig their own grave. Because as IBM PCs became popular, all other companies would start producing IBM-compatible computers, and all of them would be dependent on Microsoft's operating system. Gates didn't care who manufactured the computer. He cared about the mind inside it. This is the greatest passive income model in history. But did Microsoft only take down IBM? No. The next victim was someone who was once a friend and confidant, Steve Jobs. The mid-80s witnessed the most iconic rivalry in tech history. On one side, Steve Jobs with aesthetics, art, and closed-box design. On the other, Bill Gates with practicality and the motto, "A computer on every desk." When Steve Jobs developed the Macintosh with a graphical interface and a mouse, he knew he would move the world. He invited Gates into this project to develop software. Jobs trusted Gates. But when Gates saw the windows and icons of the Macintosh, he realized one thing: the future is inside these windows. Gates silently began working on his own operating system. This was the largest backdoor operation in tech history. When Windows 1.0 was announced, a storm broke out at Apple. Jobs summoned Gates to his office and screamed, "You stole our ideas. I trusted you." Witnesses say Jobs cried that day. Gates' ice-cold response is still the most famous defense in the tech world. "Steve, I think it's more like this. We both had a rich neighbor named Xerox. I broke into his house to steal his TV, only to find that you had already stolen it." This sentence screamed a truth. Neither Apple nor Microsoft invented the graphical interface. Both were inspired by Xerox PARC Labs. But the difference was this: Apple presented this technology as an expensive and inaccessible work of art, while Microsoft made it a standard that could enter every computer. By the 1990s, Windows was everywhere. But this unlimited growth would turn Microsoft from a hero into a bully. The company had grown so much that it didn't just buy out competitors, it practically evaporated them. But how does an empire face an enemy when it's at the top? Can it be trapped inside the very system it created? This is when Microsoft's dark years in the courtroom began. On August 24, 1995, the world witnessed an unprecedented marketing frenzy. Windows 95 was launched. To the tune of the Rolling Stones' "Start Me Up," people queued at midnight to buy a software box as if it were an elixir of immortality. Microsoft was now unstoppable. But this power had made Bill Gates and his management ruthless. When the internet revolution knocked on the door, Microsoft was late. But they caught up quickly. To destroy a rival browser named Netscape, they embedded their own browser, Internet Explorer, into every Windows for free. It was a move that left competitors breathless. This was the last straw. At that moment, the US Department of Justice stepped in. The largest monopoly lawsuit in history was filed against Microsoft. Bill Gates was interrogated for hours. You can still find the videos. The aggressive genius boy was gone, replaced by a weary man who kept saying, "I don't recall." In the eyes of the public, he was no longer a hero, but the villain. The court made its decision. Microsoft must be split in two. This was a death warrant for Microsoft. The lawsuit lasted for years and finally ended in a settlement. Microsoft was not split, but it was shackled. Now every move was watched. During this period of silence and legal defense, Microsoft missed something: the future. Google took over search, Facebook took over social media, and Apple took over the mobile world with the iPhone. Microsoft was seen as a clunky desktop company, trapped in its Windows fortress. Everyone thought Microsoft is finished. Then in 2014, a name silently stepped onto the stage: Satya Nadella. When Satya Nadella took the helm, Microsoft's shares were in the gutter. The first thing he did was destroy the Windows is everything obsession. His motto was, "If there is a user somewhere, we must be there too." The company that was once at odds with Apple was now making the best apps for iPhones. They collaborated with their former rival Linux. But their biggest gamble was cloud computing, Azure. Microsoft was no longer a shop selling software in a box. It became a giant center storing and processing the world's digital data. Today, Microsoft's market value is many times higher than those dark courtroom days. And most importantly, they hold the key to the AI era. With their partnership with OpenAI and ChatGPT, they sent a message to the world that once forgot them: "I'm still here and I'm still the one setting the standards." The story of this giant, which started in a garage with lies and big risks, was shaken by lawsuits, but managed to evolve every time, holds one lesson for Top Dynamics viewers: it's hard to get to the top, but to stay there, you must constantly kill your old self and be reborn. We've reached the end of another journey in search of the dynamics that rule the world. What do you think about this ruthless but brilliant journey of Microsoft? Was Bill Gates a visionary or just an opportunist who grew by crushing his rivals? Do you think Microsoft can completely sideline Apple and Google with the AI revolution? We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. As the Top Dynamics community, we follow and discuss every single one of your ideas. If you enjoyed this documentary-style analysis and want to continue exploring the unknown sides of global brands and leaders with us, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our Top Dynamics channel, and turn on those notifications. Your support is our greatest strength in continuing this deep research and high-quality content. Remember, the world is not just what you see. We will continue to look for the unseen, those great dynamics. Until we meet in the story of the next giant brand, stay curious, stay dynamic, and stay with Top Dynamics. See you next time.